Total trades 697, and there was a win rate of 68.87%, and the total profit was $27,990. Instead of manually backtesting a trading strategy like this, I backtested 21 plus years of market data in about 6 seconds with the help of AI. This changes everything for traders like you and me, because now we can backtest our trading strategies without knowing how to code, and we can optimize our strategies faster than ever before. How's it? My name is Hugh, and in this video, I'll give you the exact steps that you need to do your first backtest with ChatGPT. The best part is that this entire process can be done totally for free. Feel free to follow along so you can see this in action for yourself, and rewind the video if you need to see one of these steps again. While you're watching this video, also keep in mind that if you find a trading strategy that you like, ChatGPT can help you turn that into an automated robot or EA for platforms like MetaTrader. But more on that in future videos. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be the first to see those videos. Now you might be wondering, is the backtesting process really necessary? Well, in my experience working at a hedge fund and talking to successful traders since 2007, I have found that the only traders who become successful are the ones who build and test their own strategies. Period. No exceptions. You can't just blindly follow a trading strategy you learned on the internet and expect to be successful. You have to go through the testing and verification process. But the good news is that AI can help you speed up things tremendously. The first step to doing an AI backtest is to get some historical market data. You need to have your own data because you need to be sure that ChatGPT is doing the test on a specific set of data and to verify the results later. If you just ask ChatGPT to randomly do a backtest on a market, you can't be sure where it's getting the data from. Before I show you how to do this, remember to be nice to ChatGPT because when the AIs take over, you probably want to be on their good side. Alright, let's get into it. The first step is to download some free historical market data. Now, you can get free data for almost any market that you want to backtest, but MetaTrader makes it super easy and it is free, so I'm going to use it in this example. Simply download MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5 and follow along. Once you've downloaded and installed MetaTrader, set up a free login that will give you a demo account to try this out. Then go to Tools and then go to History Center. Then look for the market that you want to download. So in this example, I'm going to use the Euro US dollar since that's a very frequently traded Forex pair. So I'm going to double click on Euro US dollar and I'm going to do the daily chart because the daily chart is easy to test. There isn't a ton of data, but you can still create really good trading strategies on that time frame. So double click daily here and that will show you all the database records that are available. Right now I have 1,961 records available. So I'm going to hit download to see if I can get more data than what is already available. It can take a little while for the data to download depending on your internet connection and the speed of your computer. So just be patient, and once that green bar goes across, then you'll know that the process is finished. Now, if you want to learn how to speed up your computer, be sure to check out my video on how to speed up a trading computer, and that could really help you out. All right, so once the data is downloaded, this is what it will look like. Before we move on, I just want to show you something really quickly. If you scroll down on this database window, you can see the first date in the historical data, and for the Euro US dollar daily chart, that's going to be 1971. And I'll get to why this is important in just a minute. Now, when you're ready to export this free historical data file, just hit the export button and that will give you the CSV file with this file name. Save it somewhere where you can find it, and we'll use that for ChatGPT to backtest on. Now I'm back at ChatGPT and this is where we start getting going. So if you don't have an account yet, you can sign up for a free one. And the model that the free account uses is ChatGPT 4.0. So I'm going to select that one just to show you that this can be done in a free account. All right, I'm going to start by saying, hi, I would like to backtest some trading strategies on a historical data file. Is that something you can help me with? And this is important because you want to give the AI some context. And if you're using a different AI, it might not be able to do this. So you should ask if it is able to do this first. So let's see what it says. Okay, so it's asking a few questions here, and I'm just going to upload the file. I'm not going to answer all these questions. I'm just going to upload the file and see if it can read it. So to do that, I'm going to click on the plus button here, upload from computer, and upload that file that I downloaded from MetaTrader. Open that up right there. And as you can see, that's attached. So I'm going to say, this is the file. So it says now it's previewing the data, and it shows you all of the information that it has. And it shows you that it recognizes this format as the date, the time, open, high, low, close, volume. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. It also recognizes that it's the daily chart because it's 1,440 minutes equals 1 day, and it's the Euro US dollar market. Perfect. Okay, so once it has this, now we can start getting into backtesting a strategy. Now, if you remember from when we downloaded the data in MetaTrader, the data went back all the way to 1971, and it identifies that there. So I want to tell ChatGPT not to use data that's older than January 2003, because that's when the euro actually went into effect. So anything previous to that will be data that we can't use. So I'm going to, oh, there's a little bit more data down here. So it says next step, you can tell me the rules for the entry, exit, take profit. Perfect. Okay, so it knows what backtesting is, and it knows what parameters it needs. So the first thing I'm going to do before I get into the entry and exit parameters is to tell it to not use data before January 2003. So please only backtest on data after from January 2003 forward. See what it says. So now it's cleaning up the data, and this is what it's showing. Okay, perfect. So it starts on January 1st, 2003, and it goes forward. And if you scroll down, you can see that it goes all the way to the current date of 2025. As I go further down the page, it says the data is now cleaned, and it's asking for the entry and exit rules. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to first identify my trading strategy. So if you have the trading strategy worksheet that I have, you can download that for free on my website. Just search on my website and you can find that. And that will allow you to put in all the parameters that you need for a trading strategy, and that can really help you organize your ideas. Or you can also just go to a chart and put on the indicators or whatever that you're using, and that will help you visualize the trading strategy that you're trying to develop, because it can be kind of hard to tell ChatGPT just in words what the trading strategy is. So I find it very helpful to look at a chart first and then kind of explain it to ChatGPT based on what's on the chart. Now, for this trading strategy, I had an idea that I want to test out. So I wanted to see how the 8 simple moving average and the 25 simple moving average could be used to create a trading strategy. So I plotted it here. The blue is the 8 and the gray is the 25. So my idea is, what if I bought when price closes below the 8 simple moving average, and then I simply sell when it closes above the 8 simple moving average. And in order to filter out signals, I would only take buy trades if the 8 is above the 25, and I will only take sell trades when the 8 is below the 25. And for sell trades, I'm simply going to sell when price is below the 8, and I'll close out the trade when it goes back above the 8. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work. I'm only making this up on the fly. And that's the great part about this. You can just think of an idea, or you can take an idea from a YouTube video or a blog post, and you can just test it out really quickly. All right, now I'll jump back to ChatGPT to do the test. But before I move on, just really quick, remember that ChatGPT can make mistakes. So you always have to double check the results you get from ChatGPT. I'll get to that more in future videos, but this is just a great way to get a quick initial backtest and get some data. Here's a big tip when entering commands into ChatGPT. I like to think of it as a very smart employee. It can do specific tasks extremely well, but it lacks context as to the bigger picture. So your job is to give it exact instructions, double check its work, and make sure that it's staying in line with the vision that you're after. Explaining what you want is especially important because just like a human, it cannot read your mind. So you have to give it exact instructions. Also remember that AI is not smarter than you. It just has a different type of intelligence. So it might be better than you at things like programming and data analysis, but you will be better at things like creativity and coming up with new trading strategy ideas. So when you work together, amazing things can happen really quickly, and that's where the magic happens. All right, back to the testing. So now I'm going to explain to ChatGPT the strategy that I want to backtest. So I'm going to say I would like to backtest a trading strategy that uses 2 simple moving averages. One is the 8 SMA, and the other is the 25 SMA. And it will understand the SMA abbreviation, so you can go ahead and use that. If you're not sure if it understands it or not, be sure to ask, and it will tell you. I would like to buy when price closes below the 8 SMA and close the trade when price closes above the 8 SMA. For a sell, I'll put in the 25 in there right now. So I'll say a buy can only open if the 8 SMA is above the 25 SMA. And then I can hit Shift Enter to create a new line. And then I can say for a sell trade, first check to see that the 8 is below the 25. I'm going to start abbreviating here and see if it picks it up. Then open a trade, a sell when price closes above the 8. Closes below, yeah. So above the 8, and close the trade when price closes below the 8. Okay, so that's the strategy. Now for position size and everything, I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm going to say start with a $10,000 account and enter 0.1 MetaTrader lots on each trade. So it should understand the MetaTrader lots, but we'll see what happens. It has in past backtests, so let's see what it comes up with. All right, so then it says excellent, very clear. So it's going to repeat the parameters back to me just to be sure that it has everything that I want. So it's building it now, and the backtest is complete. So here's the summary. Total trades 697 on the daily chart, and there was a win rate of 68.87%, and the total profit was $27,990, and the final account balance was $37,990. So this is a profitable trading strategy right off the bat. And then if I go back to the calculation time, it doesn't give it on this version, but on the other version, the paid version, it does show you how long it took. And generally these tests take about 6 seconds in my experience. So this is super fast and it gives you results right away. And if you look at the table here, it shows you every single trade in that backtest. So you can verify this later on, and that's fantastic. So it says, now would you like me to also plot a balance curve or equity growth over time, show a distribution of trade profits, and calculate the maximum drawdown or any other metrics like the Sharpe ratio? Fantastic. So yes, it would be helpful to take a look at some of these graphs and some of these other metrics. So a helpful thing to do would be to take a look at the balance curve to see how volatile this is, right? So I'm going to say, yes, please show me the balance curve, if I can spell correctly. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so this is interesting. So this trading strategy was profitable, but it's not as profitable as it could be because there was this big area here where it went sideways, and then there was a big drawdown, and then it battled back. So there could be a lot of room for optimization here, even though this strategy was profitable. Now let's take a look at the maximum drawdown. It's asking about maximum drawdown. So yes, please show me the max drawdown. Okay, so the maximum drawdown for this strategy was 67.63%. So that is a little rough. So there is some room for optimization here, obviously, because that's a very large drawdown, as it says right there. So you probably don't want to have that large of a drawdown. So one way we could potentially limit the drawdown on this trading strategy is to use stop losses. I didn't use any stop losses because I just wanted a quick and dirty test, right? So let's say I first need to see the distribution of wins and losses. and that could give me a clue as to where the stop loss could be. So I'm going to say, show me the distribution of losing trades as a percentage of account balances in a graph. Okay, so let's see what it says. As you can see, there were a lot of really small losers, and then there are a few huge losers right there. That's what's probably tanking the account there. So I could also show this as a number of pips. So please show me a graph of the losing trades in pips. Okay, so some of the trades went to 800 pips. There's one that was 1,000. That was the one that really tanked the account. So a potential optimization that you could do here possibly is to maybe set a stop loss at 600 pips, like a worst case scenario stop loss, and see how that goes. Another thing you could do is you could play with the parameters of the moving averages a little bit. Maybe you could have a 10 SMA instead of an 8 and play with those parameters a little bit. But just for fun, let's try running the backtest again with a 600 pip stop loss. So I'm going to say thank you. Please run the backtest again, but add a 600 pip stop loss on every trade and see how that does. So it's going to run the analysis, and we're going to see how this one potential optimization works. Sometimes it makes it worse, sometimes it makes it better. So we won't know until we actually run the analysis. Okay, so this one took a little longer than 6 seconds, but it was still pretty quick. So it shows all of the backtest results, and it says there were 699 trades, and the profit was actually less here. So as you can see, a 600 pip stop loss is not ideal, and it actually lowers the profit. And I would not have known that unless I did this backtest. Now, ChatGPT is very helpful, and it gives a summary. Risk is much better controlled, but the profit is lower. And it gives some suggestions as to what I could possibly do next. Plot out the balance curve, calculate the maximum drawdown, compare the two backtests visually. So let's take a look at that. I'm kind of curious. Please compare the two backtests visually. Okay, so as you can see, with the 600 pip stop loss, that's the dotted line, that led to bigger drawdowns, and it was overall a worse strategy. So what's happening there is the stop loss was stopping out some winning trades also. So that's the reason why it performed worse. So as you can see, this is a really quick way to start backtesting strategies. You can test whatever idea you can come up with, and you can see the results right away. Now, here's a very important tip when it comes to backtesting. Always make sure that you keep one trading strategy per chat. So that allows you to go back into your old chats and maybe play with some ideas that you had before without confusing the AI by putting two different trading strategies in the same chat. So if you are done with this and you're like, oh, maybe I want to try something else, then just go into another chat, hit ChatGPT again. It'll bring up another chat, and that will be available in your history. So you can start playing with a new trading strategy idea and then save this one, and then maybe go back to the other one if you want to test some other markets. Maybe you want to test the pound dollar or the US yen, or you want to change some of the parameters. You want to play with the moving averages. Maybe you want to add in an RSI or another indicator or something like that. Then that would be a great way to keep all of your tests separate and allow you to come back to them later. All right, now I'm back in the original backtest, and let's see what ChatGPT would suggest in terms of how to improve this, right? So what are some suggestions for making this strategy more profitable and less volatile? Okay, so it's giving me a good summary of the strategy, why it's good, why it's not good. And here are some suggestions. So it's giving me 5 strategic suggestions to increase the profitability and reduce volatility. So it says add a minimum price distance filter for entry. Don't immediately enter when price crosses. Only enter a minimum distance away, 10 to 20 pips. This avoids noise that barely crosses the SMA. Use a take profit in addition to a stop loss. A dynamic take profit would massively improve the profit factor. Okay, so for example, if 600 pips, you're looking for a 600 or 900 pip take profit. This can also increase the win rate. Okay, tighten the stop loss adaptively. You can use an ATR-based stop loss. Add a time-based exit. Okay, and confirm trades with a trend filter. Okay, that generally doesn't work too well, so I'm not going to do that one. So there are some different ideas here, some good ideas that can be used to possibly improve this. So let's see, I am going to, what would be the best one to use here? I want to try out, I'm not too interested in that first one. Let's try the take profit. Let's try using a 600 pip stop loss. Let's try a 400 pip and see what happens. A 400 pip stop loss and a 800 pip take profit. Okay, so it's going to reiterate what the instructions that I gave it. So that looks good. That looks good. Okay, so now it's running it with the 400 pip stop loss and the 800 pip take profit. And we'll see how this goes. I don't think this is going to do very well, but that's why we test. And it was slightly more profitable, interesting. And the win rate was about the same, and there were more trades here. So let's scroll down to take a look at some of the analysis. Higher total profit still maintains a very high win rate, likely smoother and catastrophic drawdowns. Let's take a look at the balance curve again. Yes, please plot the new balance curve. All right, so the new balance curve looks pretty much similar to the last one that I did. So this isn't a big improvement. However, it is a step in the right direction. So I can start playing with some of these ideas like the stop loss, take profit, and then I can go back to some of these other ideas that ChatGPT suggested, or I can come up with my own ideas as to how to improve this strategy a little bit more. In future videos, I'm going to be showing you how to take these ideas that you've backtested and verified and turn them into actual trading robots that can either automate your entire trading strategy, or you can automate parts of the strategy like the open or the trade management or just the close. And that can save you a lot of time and that can add a lot of profits to your bottom line. So be sure to subscribe if you want to get those videos and check out the video that's coming up next.